Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You can start. I think. Do you want me to start? What is it?
I can start. That's
Go on
okay.
then. Yeah.
All right, thanks. So, today I'm bringing you one new game from Italy, I think.
Hey.
It's, well,
Italiano, gioco italiano.
let me go back to my beloved Commodore 64.
Hey.
Yeah, there are just so
Um,
many games for it. I think it's still possibly the platform that gets more attention by developers. And there are many very good games, as this one is, of course. I'm talking about the game Mike Mech 2 by LC Games. I think
is it
LC,
Luca Carminati? Is always.
yes,
Yeah.
LC
Yeah.
stands for Luca Carminati. And I'm not sure, however, if he's like a one man company or um, if he gets some help by someone else as well. But do I understand right that he is actually a long time developer that was active in the 90s, making commercial games in the 90s?
I don't know. You asking me? I don't know.
Yeah, I should investigate this a little bit. But anyway, he is on itch.io. His new games are on itch.io. And possibly all of them or most of them are a name your own price. So you can try them out and then decide if you want to contribute. And I think they're all good. We've already talked about some of his games. I brought The Last Defender maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember that was a
And
shoot 'em up for you, wasn't it?
yes, did I bring it up for the shoot up episode? Probably,
I
yes.
think so. Yes, from what I remember.
Then there's a series of Tutankhamun games, Tutankhamun Returns. Probably I did not bring them to the show, but they are also very good.
Mm.
And he's done also many arcade conversions for Commodore 64 and
But
some.
this modern conversions or old like when he used to work back in the days or now he done these
No, I
conversions.
think he did them now.
Okay.
I think. And I don't think his old work is on each, probably only the new one, but right, not completely sure. And then he also made some how can I say extensions or not remake, it's like continuations of older games like Hero. Do you remember? That was one of my favorite early games. Also, I had it on Commodore 64. In Hero, it's a kind of platformer where you control character with a small helicopter in his
I don't
backpack.
remember. Okay. Jetpacks or no, no, it's not a jetpack, like a copter back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a classic. I think it's a classic game of the 80s, and I think he made some continuation of that, as well as Bagman. That's another classic game. I think it was also arcade, and he made new titles like called Bagman Comes Back and Bagman Strikes Back. So I think it's very good anyway. It's a very good high quality programmer. So Mike Mech 2 is, of course, the second episode of Mike Mech, which came out 3 years ago, and it was already a pretty good game, but we never talked about it, so I'll mention something about it as well today. So what is Mike Mech 2? Well, essentially, it's a classic single screen platformer of the dodge and jump kind, meaning you don't shoot, you only have the option of avoiding dangers, and it's science fiction themed. So
Hmm.
there's a simple story in the background that you work as a mechanic in a cargo spaceship, and the aliens invaded your cargo spaceship again because this is the second episode. So yeah, the ship mechanic, the spaceship mechanic, and your task is to go through the rooms of the spaceship and flip all the switches or turn on all the switches that eventually when you finish a whole area, the switches will trigger some sort of beam that will eliminate all the aliens, clear up the spaceship, and then you move on the next area. So it's a very simple platformer in terms of mechanics because you can't shoot, you only walk, climb ladders, jump. Uh, there are some moving platforms here and there. You have to dodge all the aliens. You also have to watch out for some static dangers in the shape of some air fans. You shouldn't touch those.
Okay.
And in addition of that, you also can use some teleporters that take you from one place to the other of the same room. And controls are very easy. So you press fire to jump, and you pull down to operate teleporters or other things. Now, in the second episode, you have to navigate this series of rooms that are kind of organized in 4 levels or sections of the spaceship. There are, I think, maybe about 20 rooms per section, so 70, 80 levels altogether, something like that. And
Hmm.
all these rooms are single screen and they are interconnected, so you see the exits in the room. You can go to the next room back and forth if you want. So
Yeah. Is there a respawn of enemy if you go back?
I knew you were gonna ask this. Well, there's no respawn, but that's because, well, you are not killing the aliens. You can't kill the aliens, so that doesn't matter. If you go back, they're
Ah, I
still
see.
there.
So you're not.
Yes,
You just have to avoid them. Okay.
yes, yes. So the other thing you can operate is that almost every room has a small computer terminal. You can use it to
Okay.
see the map, and when you see the map, then you see the layout of the spaceship with the squares or
Yeah.
rectangles for each room. And if they're green, it means you've already cleared the room, so you have already flipped all the switches. If they're red, there is still something to do in that room. So you have an indicator of how many switches are left. But if you are at some point out of a clue of what did you miss, you can always go to a computer terminal and check the map, and then it will give you a hint of which room you still have to clear.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. It looks very difficult.
Well, that's the thing. It is a difficult game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right. Let me first finish with a couple
Yes.
of
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
additional
Totally.
things, such as if you're looking at some picture, you probably see the trackers at the bottom. So there's an indication of which room number you're in.
Yeah. Ah, trackers in that.
For
Okay. No,
example,
you're right.
yes,
Yes.
how many switches are left, how many lives are left. Then there's another thing which is it looks like a card or a credit card.
Mm?
They're actually like digital keys. So there are rooms where some doors are closed or locked, and you first have to collect the keys to open the rooms, to open the doors
Mm.
to another room or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a score as well. So this is mostly a minor thing in my opinion. It doesn't add that much to the game, but you can collect these crystals that appear or gems that appear here and there to increase your score. But I do think that the score at least gives you some bonus lives,
Okay.
which are very useful because the game is difficult. And now I don't remember if it's 10,000 points to get a bonus life. But other than
Okay.
that, if you want, you can also ignore it and just try to make through the whole game. You don't have to collect these at any cost.
Yeah. It's a completion sort of thing. Okay. Have you
All
and you've
right.
got 2 lives, and afterwards it's game over.
Well, it's 3 lives, but yes.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, 3.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, the whole game is this one. Not that complicated, but I think it qualifies as a hard game to play. And now I'm already moving to, let's say, my review of the game, my opinion of the game. First of
Mm.
all, it looks great.
It
I
does.
really like the way it looks. It looks very Commodore 64 in every possible way, but top notch sprites, in my opinion. Very
Mm.
simple. The aliens all look like tiny blobs,
Yeah.
but they look great. They are animated great. There's some eye candy things like the animation when you die. You see
Yes.
this
So,
tiny crumbling skeleton falling down, and there's a good thing for the gameplay. The aliens are quite varied.
mm.
I think they're color coded, so you can immediately tell
Who
by
does what?
color and shape. So there are also those in the same color that work a little differently. But I would say there's many groups of aliens depending on how they move. There's the crawlers, let's say, they just move on a back and forth pattern on a platform.
Mm.
There's the jumpers that do little jumps, either straight or left and right. And so those you can jump over when they're low or try to walk under when they're jumping. Then there's the floaters that just fly in fixed patterns, always short quarters. Uh, then maybe I would call like the stickers. I don't know.
Stickers.
Yeah, there's some that they just float up to the ceiling and then they stick to the ceiling and then they just fall down again. And later on, similar ones, but do the same left and right from one wall to the other.
Right. This looks like an arcade game. It could be an arcade game, I think.
I think so.
It's pretty nice.
It has the look and it has the difficulty, and uh, and then the worst one are the seekers. I think those really make the levels very hard for me to play. There's some of them that just seek you, so they just move constantly towards you, flying. And in some levels, it's very difficult to avoid them. You have to usually play with teleporters. In that case,
Okay.
well, they can't fly through platforms or through walls, but it's very easy to get into a place where you can't avoid them anymore,
My
and
gosh.
then you just die. Although, well, you can
Mm.
move out of the room quickly. I think these were even worse in the first episode, but more on that later on. Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
and also forgot there are some of them that also vanish, like they just appear and disappear.
Yeah. But it seems like when you win a level or you exit a level through a door, there's like a laser that destroys them all or goes through the whole screen and kills them all. Is that right?
When you finish one cargo hold,
Ah, okay. When you finish one cargo hold, that is okay. I see. I see.
so overall the game is quite challenging. You only have 3 lives unless you get the bonus life. So if you want to complete the game, I think you need either a very long training time or just try to use game saves, play in an emulator and use game saves because it's really very difficult. Although I kind of like the idea that it's not a game you can't easily binge play in one evening,
Hmm.
which is what we do nowadays. We want to finish the games quickly,
Yeah.
but if we were back in the day, that would kind of devalue the games a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Be-
wouldn't be worth your money if you can finish them in one day.
yes, exactly. So makes me wonder sometimes if we are a bit spoiled nowadays that games have to be finished reasonably quickly so that you feel like you are good at playing games. But the truth is that the games are easy, and this one is not. Oh,
Ah,
it has a practice mode, by the way, so you can choose one of the cargo hold, and I think you have 10 minutes limit, but no lives, so you can practice one of the different cargo holds.
that's interesting.
But overall, I think I really like it, and I have to say, I also want to mention the previous game, Mike Mech, the original one of 2022. It's
Yeah.
also on itch. It's also name your own price. Uh, it has a different gameplay, anyway. The new one looks more neat. It looks well. The sprites are the same, but somehow the levels look better to me. They're more interesting.
Yeah, they're a bit yeah more polished. They look like they had more time on the tiles and stuff.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
the tiles are new, the platforms are new, and in the original game, instead of flipping the switches, you had to reactivate the batteries. The story was that somehow the aliens invaded your spaceship and all the batteries went offline or something like that. And the batteries really look like transparent bricks. So they are actually the platforms, the batteries.
Yeah, it's like City Connection, in it.
Yeah,
Sort of.
yes. So effectively, that's right. Effectively, the fact that to reactivate the batteries, you have to walk on them, or you can also touch them from below or from the side, sliding
Mm,
down when falling, for
yeah.
example. So basically, this made the original game a painter platformer.
Yeah.
You can have to
Yeah.
paint everything. You have to walk or touch all the platforms once to finish the level. And also the look of it made it feel a little bit like Super Mario games to me, very
Yes.
slightly, very
Yeah,
slightly.
you're right. You're right. It gives me.
So it's still a very good game. I think it was strictly sequential, so you had to do the whole 70 or so levels. So you didn't navigate a map. I prefer the new one, but the old one, you had to do all the levels one by one, and they were just individual rooms. And once you touched all the batteries, the level was just complete and moved to the next. But because of that, because there was no navigation, you did have a time limit for each room,
Right.
like a minute or so. And
Yeah, I
in
see.
some levels, it was a problem for me. Like that minute was too short. And in that case, you also had a practice mode. I think these were very, very nice touches by the author, which, by the way, also seems to make some new version every now and then. So I encourage you to take a look at if there is a new version every now and then, because I think this practice mode possibly was added later on in the
I
first
see.
game.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
And in the first game, you can choose any of those 70 levels. If there is one that gives you trouble, you just practice on
Yeah. I
that
see.
particular room.
Once you learn the patterns here, it's not so hard.
Well,
But there's a lot of enemies. Like when you get in holds that are, let's say, I'm looking at hold 3, room 6, or room 7. There's a lot of enemies and lots of patterns to understand and to go through really quickly. Requires a lot of nimbleness on the pad or wherever you play with the joystick.
yeah, probably one way is really try to figure out the pattern and just then go through it.
Mm.
But usually when I played these couple of games, I just went with the instinct and tried to not to think too much, honestly.
Okay.
But
Did you finish it
right,
or not? The number 2.
no, 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 not even the number one. In some way, I think the number one was even more difficult.
Huh. But
Yeah,
I see videos of people playing it, and it looks like really easy because they just go,
yeah, I
but
don't
I
know.
imagine it's not nothing like that.
Yeah, there's some long plays that go through the end on YouTube, so
Yeah.
you can definitely learn to finish the game.
Nuts.
All right. Anyway, thumbs up from me on both of these games. If you like classic platformers, these are very well done. If you like challenging platformers,
Yeah.
very well done, great to look at, and yeah, just very good old style games in my opinion.
Yes, they look nice.